The full release of Modern Warfare 3 is finally upon us, leaving behind one of the worst years of COD in recent memory with Modern Warfare 2. No, seriously, it might actually have been the worst. If I could summarize the previous year of COD with one image, this tweet right here from Raz is the perfect way to do it. But this video isn't being made to talk about that mess. This video is being made to talk about all the aspects of Modern Warfare 3. The good, the really bad, and whether or not you should buy it. Now, I know returning visitors of this channel will probably be expecting me to only cover the multiplayer of this game, and to be honest, it's probably going to be the brunt of this video. But we'll also briefly cover both the campaign and zombies of Modern Warfare 3, as I feel like for the hefty price tag this game is listed as, I personally think they should all be covered. Plus, just because I prefer the multiplayer of COD in its current state, doesn't mean there's people out there that don't prefer the campaign or its PvE modes that may find this video. So let's get the really bad out of the way first, and what I personally find to be Modern Warfare 3's weakest aspect. It actually might shock you considering previous Modern Warfare releases as well, but the game's weakest aspect is its campaign. Just a warning before we get into this absolute disaster. There will obviously be spoilers regarding what happens in the story of Modern Warfare 3. So if you are someone who doesn't want to get spoiled on how this story pans out, I'd recommend skipping into the next part of the video. But in all honesty, you're not missing out on much, and I'm probably doing you a favor by telling you what happens in the campaign. Now, where do I begin with this absolutely disgraceful, unpolished, unbelievably dogshit? How in the hell did this actually get released to the public with the price tag that it has on it? Absolutely disgraceful. What in the absolute fucking hell? And if I somehow forgot to say it, absolutely disgraceful campaign. I had rumors when I went on Twitter the day early access for the campaign dropped, and I do try my best to see the positives in everything I do, or I'm going to get my hands on. So when I began playing this game, I truly thought maybe it's just typical, hey, it's not what I want in a COD, so I'm going to complain about it comments from people. But, oh no. Even with everything I saw prior in regards to the campaign, I was absolutely not prepared for just how bad this truly is. This genuinely might be the worst COD campaign I've ever played since I picked up the franchise in 2010. I genuinely felt nothing but apathy when I was playing this on stream. Nothing. The game has 14 missions that should take you about 4 hours on normal difficulty. Maybe a little less depending on what you're doing. I was going to see how long it could take me on veteran after I completed my normal playthrough, but honestly, I wouldn't even play it on easy. It is genuinely that much of a waste of time. Now, before we get into the story, one thing of note to mention is that the dev team Sledgehammer Games mentioned that they were dealing with frustration throughout the whole dev process as they had to run all of their content by Infinity Ward. For those that don't know, Infinity Ward are normally the ones responsible for handling the Modern Warfare series releases. The staff that were working on the game mentioned that they dealt with issues on waiting for feedback from them, along with them also making huge changes, some being completely unwanted. So when we go to review all the aspects of this game, I feel like that's something that has to be kept in mind as to why some things in Modern Warfare 3 feel very lackluster. Again, Sledgehammer dealt with a lot of changes from Infinity Ward. It was very frustrating from the sounds of things. I'll link the article in the description below. Now, I'm not going to go through every intricate detail of the story here, but just gloss through the main things that happen. The story begins with you infiltrating a Russian gulag and trying to locate Prisoner 627, who turns out to be the one and only Vladimir Makarov. Once with Makarov, you escape from the gulag, and then you move on to the second mission. And this second mission is where my first major problem with this whole story begins. It is the first of 6 open combat missions. Not only do these missions just feel like uninspired and unoriginal garbage, that just feel like they're ripping aspects from DMZ and zombies, all of these combat missions literally just feel like I'm playing DMZ. And that's the big issue. If people wanted to play these modes, they would go and play DMZ or zombies. I get they wanted to do something different in the campaign, but honestly, it was executed absolutely poorly and have no place in this campaign. For one mission, let alone 6. That's another issue. 6 of 14 missions are basically all this. Like, that's just under half the campaign. I could sit here and bitch about how much I hate these missions all day, but let's continue. You go ahead and complete this mission as far and finding the items you need and placing GPS trackers on shipping containers. You move into another open combat mission. Yep. Right after they give you another goddamn open combat mission. You barely escape from the gas and get raised up to Soap and all the boys before knocking out from the effects of the gas. You see how Price is here? This is exactly how it's like to play this stupid fucking campaign. You do the typical recon drone style mission that's become a normal thing in modern COD campaigns, or taking out pink soldiers or trying not to draw the interest from others. Get the keycard from the base commander. Enter the silo with Farrell.
God, that sound is so annoying.
Stop the missile launch. Exit the facility. Close the silo before the missile launches and reach the control tower. The cutscene leads to our next mission with other missiles that have launched that are headed towards where Laswell is at the Arklov base. Look, this stealth infiltration mission is pretty mad, but at least it's not another goddamn open combat mission.
They're seriously so fucking bad!
You then play as Laswell, infiltrating the Arklov base, you get the keycard, enter the admin building, and then meet with Yuri. The base gets hit and you have to head up to the roof and escape in a helicopter. Now, before I continue, I just want to say, although the gameplay and the overall story are beyond disappointing for a Modern Warfare campaign, the cutscenes actually look incredible. No, seriously, if there's something this part of the game did right, it's these beautiful cutscenes. Like, personally, I don't swing that way, but damn. Look how good Price and Ghost look. Fucking hell. Personally, though, and surely, I can't be the only one that thinks this, but this game's version of Makarov kind of feels like a filler character with how his design and facial structure looks. I mean, just compare them both. He just feels like he doesn't look the part of the grandiose villain that he's been built up as in the reboot of the Modern Warfare series. Anyway, next up is actually one of the more interesting missions in this game's campaign called Passenger. Actually, calling it a mission is kind of a cop-out. It's honestly more of just shock factor cutscenes and a more modern attempt of Modern Warfare 2's No Russian. After being discovered as Samara, a ULF member by one of Makarov's goons, you take him out before you get overrun, and then you end up being taken back to Makarov and you speak to him. He plants a bomb vest on you and then holds up a bomb detonator and throws it back into the passengers. As you try to get it, the plane detonates. Did this feel shocking? Surprisingly, yeah. But was it the level of a No Russian or something like that? You go around hacking phones. Literally it. I feel like I'm working for Verizon out here doing this shit. Oh my god, Verdansk. Whoa. Whoa, Verdansk. You push through the stadium while avoiding hitting civilians and take a hold of Makarov. Not gonna lie, pushing him here is kind of fun as fuck. You secure the parking lot and then meet up with the helicopter and get on. More character building, more character building. What the hell is Shepard doing here? What the hell is Graves doing here? Character building.
This is the whole fucking stupid campaign. It sucks.
You confront the oligarch Malinov funding Makarov and Kony Group. Touch a couple of nerves by saying you'll touch your money and get the info you need. Not gonna lie though, this scene here did make me laugh. I have to give it that. I don't know if this is unintentional comedy, but this whole thing made me laugh. F this stupid game. These missions are so boring and like so much of everything. Rooftop fights, secure one of Makarov's goons, fly the fuck away. Would you believe me if I told you completing this mission pretty much marks the start of the end game? I'm not kidding. After this, there's 4 more missions. You go to Siberia to try and intercept something or someone being delivered to an abandoned Soviet prison complex, and you find Shepard? You go through the snow with Shepard, clear through enemies, regroup with Farah, more fighting, and then rendezvous with Ghost and survive the enemy assault. More attempts of character work with Shepard, and I guess it works, but there's also a little bit of foreshadowing with him and Price for the ending. More on that later.
How the fuck are we still getting these stupid missions? They're so fucking bad.
You stop Makarov and his boys from blowing up Gorodam and get out of here. I fucking hate these stupid ass open combat missions. Fuck. Next. It's the next stereotype that fits into every Call of Duty game. The sitting in an AC-130 or aerial kill streak the whole mission time. I can't be the only one who thought these lost their novelty over a decade ago, right? You eventually destroy the hangar, and Shadow Company try to make you believe that you've iced Makarov, which you can already tell with how much build-up they've given him and how COD campaigns go. This guy is absolutely still alive. Then you go through this scene here where Shepard and Graves stab each other in the back in front of an audience in front of Congress. Kinda goes alright. Again, these cutscenes, despite how lackluster the gameplay, are just so good. But yeah, it just doesn't make up for how bad this campaign overall is. Like I said, Makarov's still alive, and you begin the mission called Trojan Horse. track down a hacker while trying not to get caught, go through CCTV footage, work out where to go, find the flash drive, and advance through the tunnel, taking on Makarov's boys while avoiding being hit by trains. Kinda like Western Sydney Simulator here. You head to the bomb and try to disarm it with a view on a snake cam. This part was actually fun as fuck, I'm not gonna lie, but then it just gets bad. You get attacked by more Coney forces, more bomb defusing work, when suddenly this happens.
Red wire, got it.
Take this to hell with you, Captain. Never bury your enemies alive.
I shit you not. They kill off one of the most important characters in the series. Like a goddamn filler character. And Makarov just escapes. Just like that. You defuse the bomb right after, and then they try to make you feel something with Soap's death. But it just doesn't work. Because they finally actually are getting some sort of emotion out of you with these cutscenes, and you get all amped up to continue going to take out Makarov when this plays.
Never bury your enemies alive. Oh my god. Yeah, I was gonna ask that same question. The campaign is really short. The campaign's really short, and the fact that Makarov is still out there, yeah, obviously this isn't done. There's gonna be a Modern Warfare 4, or maybe it'll be explained again in like future raid missions, but dude, that was so fucking sudden. Like, that's so fucking depressing.
That's it. Yeah. After all of that, this is just obviously a ploy to hype up the next Modern Warfare game, and personally, I'm not invested. The franchise fatigue is real with this series, and I just want it to be done. After this awful mess of a campaign, it's pretty beyond saving in my opinion. They do, however, after the first scene of credits, have this cutscene which is pretty based, I'm not gonna lie.
You're better than this, Captain.
We both will.
This job is about making sacrifices for the greater good.
Agreed.
You got a body count of your own, John. It'll come back to haunt you. Oh, I am not gonna beg for my life. Not from you or anybody else, Captain.
Wouldn't do you any good.
But unfortunately, it's just too late at this point. If the game had another like 2 or 3 missions after this, and the game not having as many open combat missions along with some changes to how the story panned out, I actually really do believe this could have been a slapper of a campaign. But knowing this is just a hype machine for the next Modern Warfare game with little to no substance is just something I'm so annoyed I wasted my time on. Yeah, look, you get a bunch of unlocks for completing the campaign, such as calling cards, XP tokens, operators, and a blueprint. But it just isn't worth it. Like, okay, seriously. Compare Soap's death in the old Modern Warfare 3 to his current MWIII death.
Come on, Soap, you can make it. Not now, Soap. Just rest. Get a medic! Come on, stay with me, son. Nice. No. Makarov knows. Oh, no! Soap! No! Soap! You have to go now! Get off me! I'm sorry.
You're sitting there praying he makes it, and it makes you feel something. Then here it's just, oops, he dead. Dead as hell. Bye, Makarov. Nothing but a delayed response, and then once you realize it's just hype for the next campaign and an attempt at trying to hate Makarov even more, it just makes you feel so bitter. Also, another topic on its campaign, we finally have the chance to play as someone as Laswell, and we finally get back in the Price's shoes, and it feels so underwhelming. Everything about it, apart from its cutscenes, is just underwhelming city. Being completely honest here, if you're buying this game for its campaign, I cannot recommend it at all. Save your money. Don't do it. It just is not it. This isn't me shitting on it because it's a trendy thing to do right now. No, that isn't it at all. It just genuinely isn't good. By the end of Modern Warfare 2's campaign, it had me questioning if I should put it in my top 5 campaigns of all time. Modern Warfare 3's campaign, all I could think is this game is a bottom 3, if not the worst Call of Duty campaign of all time. I felt nothing, and I just wanted to end the entire time. It's a real shame. Now, onto Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. And it'll be the same deal as explaining the campaign. Won't get into every intricate detail, just really trying to highlight the pros and cons to determine whether or not you should buy it. Anyone who knows me knows that I believe the best Zombies formula is anything Treyarch did with Call of Duty World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3. These are grand slams in my opinion. They shouldn't just reuse assets and copy-paste everything from these eras, but this should always be the formula to a winning season in a Zombies mode. And well, this is where I have an issue with the term Zombies being used for this game's marketing. Because it isn't Zombies in the traditional sense at all at this current point in time. Round-based currently doesn't exist, and that might deter a lot of the traditional Zombies players away. I personally also really hate the fact it's marketed as Zombies. Is this me being an absolute fucking geek? Yeah. But beside that, there's way more of a feeling of DMZ from Modern Warfare 2 and calling it Zombies is where my issue lies. To the people that are expecting traditional or even a Black Ops 4 or Cold War round-based experience, they're going to be disappointed. Personally, I feel as if it should be called DM Zombies or something along those lines. I do understand why Call of Duty markets it as Zombies though. It's plain and simple, going to do better, being called Zombies. Because Call of Duty absolutely does its best financially when it capitalizes on its nostalgic roots, and this is no different here. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say something that might annoy a lot of people. Modern Warfare 3 Zombies can actually be a lot of fun. Yes, it's not the formula you know and love, but honestly there's a lot to do with the game's acts, missions, and not just a camo grind for the Modern Warfare 3 weapons, but also a camo grind for all the Modern Warfare 2 weapons that have been integrated into the system as well. This game's Zombies mode is everything Vanguard Zombies should have been. This game feels eons better than that garbage. But then again, it isn't hard to improve on literal dog shit. Anyway, one thing I will complain about with this game is the menu before getting into a game. It's so convoluted and confusing. Even trying to pick an operator felt weird at first.
Wait, can you only use one of 2 operators?
No, you just gotta choose yours.
I've got Rocket and Scarecrow here. That's the only thing I can see.
Who the fuck is Rocket?
Hey, let me
oh, no, it happened to me, Don't use that one, When you go to gear, use one of the other slots.
That's so okay. That's
I know.
This game.
The game sucks. It doesn't suck. The game is good. COD, get him a part of shit.
You pick your loadout, you start with one weapon until you complete Act 1, and then you get 2. Other things you can pick are your tack and lethal and field upgrade, along with items in your rucksack. These can range from perks, Aether tools, ammo mods, Ethereum crystals, and schematic crafting, which is pretty much different forms of ammo mods, Aether tools, and even later on wonder weapons. But keep in mind though, these won't be available in your first playthrough, and they're acquired through gameplay. The map at this current point in time is Urzikstan, the future new Warzone map. Damn, this shit looked like Florida. Like I mentioned, you have a bunch of things to do. You can camo grind, do missions, or just honestly fuck about with your mates doing shit. You can play solo or up to 4 players total, but it's an open world experience and you can link up with other teams for boss fights and other activities. If you go down the path of not fucking about, you can complete missions and acts which do unlock gun slots, and if you complete up to the 3rd act, you get a pretty cool operator for doing so. I played this with a friend of mine, Danny, for about 2 hours messing about, and honestly, it was pretty sick and actually makes me want to pursue the axe and camo grind once I do all the other stuff I need to do in my personal life. Plus, I actually got jump scared from this shit right here.
So this is the Easter egg shit?
This is it, bro.
They got a purple.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy fuck!
That's the boss!
Overall, with the acts, they've actually bothered to put in a lot of stuff to do. Act 1, there's 20 missions in total, including a story mission. Act 2 has 14 missions, including a story mission. And finally, Act 3 has 12 missions, including a story mission, as well as a boss fight being a worm. He's a worm. Named Orcus. Got some armor. He kinda cute. This is definitely a lot more content compared to the previous installment that Vanguard was. Still can't believe that atrocity happened, by the way. But do I recommend it? That's what we're trying to find out here. The game does have a pretty hefty price tag. If you're someone that is only a fan of the traditional round-based formula, I'm gonna be honest, I probably can't recommend it. But, and hear me out, if you're a big fan of DMZ or Outbreak, or you're simply looking to try something different with its open world experience, I can actually give this a big recommend. Like, can't believe I'm saying it either. I thought this was just going to be another Vanguard, but this game is actually launched, like, in a pretty decent way with its zombie state. I mean, apart from the crashing that does make you lose, like, your loot, if it does happen. But, end verdict of Modern Warfare 3 zombies, if you're a traditional round-based player, I probably can't recommend this game to you. But if you do like the open world, Outbreak, DMZ experience, this game might be something you're interested in, and I actually highly recommend it. Now to move on to the multiplayer of Modern Warfare 3. And this subject has definitely had a lot of people talking. A lot of different things, but the main things in my opinion that need to be highlighted are two. Skill-based matchmaking and the game's launch content. We'll be talking about other things too, of course, but this is what we'll be starting this section of the video on. Let's start off with skill-based matchmaking. For those that may not be in the modern Call of Duty loop, Call of Duty's modern title since Modern Warfare 2019 has introduced a new formula for how people find lobbies, with games disbanding once they're done and placing you into the next with players of similar stats and performance. Personally, I think calling this skill-based matchmaking is actually a cop-out. I personally prefer labeling it something like performance-based matchmaking, as if you're playing the game really well, you're going to keep being put into absolute sweatfests, and if you're going absolutely negative or just simply not performing that well, the matchmaking will ease up on you a bit and place you in the games with people that are also kind of struggling at that point. The concept of this, in my opinion, is fine, but only when it comes to a ranked or competitive mode, not a casual arcade shooter. What made Call of Duty great back in its prime was just being able to chill out in any game mode that you wanted, and if it came to the point that you weren't enjoying yourself, you could just simply leave the lobby and move on to the next. With this current formula of matchmaking, you just simply are stuck in this endless cycle of getting punished for playing well. Play a couple games where you feel like you're in a CDL qualifier, and absolutely sweat your ass off just to even go positive, or even if that. Or you get absolutely demolished the entire time, only to get placed into a way easier lobby for a game, maybe two if you're lucky, and then rinse and repeat. It's so tedious and so off-putting when you just want to chill out and play some games either alone or with your mates. Now, Call of Duty devs have argued skill-based matchmaking has existed in COD since its inception of its multiplayer games, but I honestly have a hard time believing that, as I've been playing the series for a decade and a half almost, and up until the modern era of COD, that being Modern Warfare 2019 to now, it just simply wasn't like this back in the glory days of the 360. I don't want to harp up on this topic too much, as this video isn't about the trouble that skill-based matchmaking has brought to COD in its modern era, but again, this video is to clarify whether or not you should buy this game, and this is something of note, as people don't just play their games to stomp lobbies every time. It's simply to play a casual shooter alone or with their friends, and this could be a massive deterrent for some players. Let's move on to the next matter of hand before we go for other things. That being how Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer has been released. At the time of recording this video, Modern Warfare 3 has released with all of the original Modern Warfare 2's on-disc map pool. So no DLC such as maps like Carnival, Trailer Park, Salvage, those sort of ones. The modes that are available for all these maps currently include Team Deathmatch, Free-for-all, Domination, Search and Destroy, Kill Confirmed, Hardpoint, and Control. These modes also have a hardcore variant if that's your sort of thing. I kind of wish for these maps and modes like that Headquarters and Capture the Flag were available off release. Hopefully they come back through the game's life cycle. I think that would be pretty nice. There's also featured map playlists such as Rust and Terminal 24/7, as well as a new thing called experimental playlists, which have a bunch of different ideas coming through Sledgehammer. Along with these, you have a 32v32 ground war playlist and invasion modes that feature big team maps, pop-off power, all of military base, and Levin Resort. I'll be real, Ground War and Invasion just don't hit it for me personally, and it just feels like a budget version of Battlefield. They just don't hit at all, and I don't think I could recommend them to you. But you may enjoy it. Who knows? There's also a mode called Cutthroat that you can play all the vanilla maps on, and it's essentially multi-team. It loses its novelty real quick, if I'm being honest. The last modes I wanted to cover was the Modern Warfare 2 Mosh Pit and War. Modern Warfare 2 Mosh Pit is actually a playlist currently with 4 maps from the previous release. That being Farm 18, Crown Raceway, Shoot House, and Masado Las Almas. Don't get me wrong, I think Modern Warfare 2 is awful, but I actually like being able to play these maps on a way faster engine. It's actually pretty enjoyable, and I can kind of recommend it. Hopefully we don't get maps like Border Crossing or Palayo's Lighthouse in the mix with this playlist here. War is taken from Call of Duty World War II, and currently only has one map, being Operation Spearhead. And calling this one map is also kind of not right, as this is actually a mix of 3 different maps mixed into one. The first part of the mode has you playing through Candor Hideout from Modern Warfare 2019. After passing through there, you move on to Crossfire from COD 4, and in the final part of the mission, you play through a reimagined version of Countdown from Call of Duty 4. In all honesty, this mode is probably your best bet for a bunch of different things, from spawn trapping clips to leveling your guns, and you're probably going to stay in this mode a bit, but it does get stale pretty quickly with it only having one map at this current point in time. I really hope with future seasons that we do see more of these maps like put into the game, just because one map, no matter how enjoyable it is, will always get stale pretty quickly. Now, see everything that I have listed here with the release of Modern Warfare 3. Have you noticed a trend with the maps? Did you miss it at all? In case you didn't notice, this entire game has been launched with pretty much no original content in this section. And that's where a lot of people's issue lie with Modern Warfare 3 and its hefty price tag. If a company is charging this much for a game, you honestly can't be doing this in my opinion. Remasters and reimagining maps are totally fine and actually is something I enjoy, but no original content to go with it, in my opinion, is just outright wrong. Like, I love Modern Warfare 2 maps. Like, some of them are some of my favorite in the history of COD. And I would even argue some have been improved upon from their original versions. But this just simply can't be justified with some players, like, even if they never experienced Modern Warfare 2 in its prime. Sledgehammer have already started to work on this, as Season 1 has already confirmed to have 3 brand new vanilla maps throughout the first season, and they've also been confirmed to be brand new, not a remake or remaster of an old map. It's a good start, but it definitely needs to continue with future seasons ahead. They can't do what they did with Modern Warfare 2 Season 1, and just rely on nostalgia with Shoothouse and Shipment. That was just awful. Another problem with Modern Warfare 3 is just how weird and confusing its UI is. Just look at the state of it. I had no idea how to find double XP until someone in my chat managed to tell me that all I needed to do was press 3 on my keyboard. But why isn't there any visual cues to do so? It isn't hard. And don't get me started on navigating the classes and the menus in general. It's just so not user-friendly. Trying to find things such as a certain weapon or your leaderboard stats or an attachment is just an absolute nightmare with this UI. Take a look here at just how easy everything is to find in the original MWIII menu. Simple and easy. Again, I'm not mentioning this just to shit on this game for no reason, but I'm also trying to highlight the pros and cons towards buying this game. Call of Duty devs have gone on record to say that they have no plans to change in the future too, which kinda sucks. Before we get into how the game plays, let's talk about how the creator class and streak setups work. With the streak system in this game, I was really hoping we got a return of the original Modern Warfare 3's perk package system of Assault, Support, and Specialist kill streaks, but unfortunately for us, it's pretty much the same as Modern Warfare 22, with only the choice of 3 streaks that can be earned via kill or score streaks, depending on which option you choose. Personally, I think you're kind of throwing if you're not using score streaks. It just makes getting everything you need so much easier and quicker, plus it actually incentivizes players to get stuff like objectives way more. For your class setups, you have your normal primaries being assault rifles, battle rifles, SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, marksman rifles, sniper rifles, and if you use this, chances are I absolutely hope you have a horrible day. For secondaries, you have handguns, launchers, and melee weapons. All the classes listed here are comprised of weapons not only from Modern Warfare 3, but Modern Warfare 2 as well. Some people have called this lazy and a bad thing, but personally, except for the goddamn fucking riot shield, I think this is great, as it adds in more weapons to the game, as well as being able to use your bundles from last year's release if you purchase anything from Modern Warfare 2. The lethal and tactical grenades, along with field upgrades, are typically things you've seen in previous releases, and the perk system has been greatly improved compared to Modern Warfare 2. No more earning perks as the game goes on, and thankfully, no more goddamn fucking last stand. You have gloves, boots, and gear for your free perks. Would prefer the traditional pro perk system from the older CODs, but honestly, anything from last year's system is a great improvement. You also have vests that change certain things about your loadout, from overkill to increased movement, among many other things. These are pretty sick, but need something among the gear invest that gives you quick fix in my opinion. A divisive thing that has a lot of the player base talking is how pretty much everything in these categories, from perks to weapons to attachments and more, have these new things called armory unlocks. To unlock certain things in Modern Warfare 3, you have to complete a bunch of daily challenges or win games to get armor unlock points. Once you have enough, the item you desire gets unlocked. Some people think this shouldn't be in the game, while others don't have a problem with it. Personally, I think daily challenges are honestly fine and it incentivizes people to do something different for a little bit, but I also believe it could have been done in a better way. I wouldn't know how to at this current point, but let me know how you would improve this system if you had the ability to change it. I've heard a lot of interesting takes regarding it. So with all of that information presented, the real question here is, how does Modern Warfare 3 play? At the current time of recording this video, I have 3 days on the game, and personally, I've really enjoyed the experience of it so far. Playing on some of my favorite maps ever with the current movement and gunplay has been a really nice change of pace compared to Modern Warfare 2's terrible map design and unbelievably regressed movement. Maps like Derail and Karachi, however, just aren't ever going to play good in my opinion. Sorry if you're one of the random people that may like those maps. Personally, my favorite map so far would have to be Afghan, Wasteland, Terminal, Rust, and Scrapyard. A lot of others play well, but those are my personal top tiers if you ask me. Hardpoint on these maps actually feel pretty good, but at times, especially in Domination, the spawns are way too sensitive compared to their 2009 original counterparts. But honestly, they play pretty good even with that. There has been issues to do with tac sprint, mouse inputs, among other things, but in a nice change of pace, Sledgehammer has noted this and is already trying to have it sorted and have been listening to a lot of other community feedback regarding multiplayer. If they keep this up, I really do believe this fun that has been had with the launch of this game will continue all year round. Still, even with all of that, there hasn't been a single thing about skill-based matchmaking despite continuous pushing from the player base. I do believe this is more of an Activision thing rather than an individual developer thing, so going off at Sledgehammer for this is pointless in my opinion, but I just wish we had some clarity regarding it. The guns honestly feel great, with a lot of weapons that needed rebalancing, such as the SAB for example, getting put in the spots that it needed to be in. Whether they were too weak or too strong, I feel like most of the weapon balance in this game is pretty good for the most part. Of course, though, with Call of Duty, there is always going to be some overpowered nonsense. And currently, at this point in time of the game, I personally believe it to be the Holger and the FAMAS assault rifles that are just absolutely crazy. I do expect these weapons to eventually be put in a more better spot, but even then, they're nowhere near as bad as, let's say, the Tech 9 in Cold War or the Combat Shotgun in Vanguard. They were some dark times. Sniping, in my personal opinion, feels really nice. Both the MWIII snipers and the MW2 snipers and marksman rifles feel like they're in a good spot. In fact, guns like the SPX and the FJX Imperium feel better than their original versions. The CAT AMR is a lot slower compared to a lot of the other snipers, and just because it's slower doesn't mean it's bad. You just need to adjust your playstyle. That's all you really need to do. Another thing I really love about sniping in this game is the fact that one thing that's consistent in previous CODs is that it just feels like everyone is using the one build, while on this game, a lot of different builds and setups are actually doing well. I really hope this is like a continuous thing going ahead. I do believe, however, the Victors could use a little bit of a buff. For how slow it is, it really isn't good at all. A class of weapons that I believe also could use a bit of a buff is the SMGs. It really does feel like despite what they're intended for, they always lose 9 times out of 10 when they go against ARs at close range. Again, Sledgehammer has been pretty good with responding to community feedback, and it looks like they're going to get them a little beefed up soon. I just hope they don't overdo it. With all of that mentioned, that leaves the question. Should you buy Modern Warfare 3 based on the multiplayer information provided? Bear with me while I try to make a comparison on something here. Old Call of Duty fans are pretty similar to old Bring Me the Horizon fans. A lot of people that got into Bring Me the Horizon with their original work constantly complain because their last couple of releases have not been anything like what they used to make, despite no indication they're going back to that style. And that's the case with current day veterans of the Call of Duty franchise. There's been no indication that Call of Duty are ever going to go back to stuff like the golden age between COD 4 to Black Ops 2. But yet every year despite that, people continue to get annoyed by the fact it doesn't play like any of those games. If you're someone that is looking for that classic Call of Duty experience, then this game might not be for you, especially with that price tag. However, if you're someone that has been enjoying the current era of Call of Duty titles like Modern Warfare 19 or Cold War, then you actually may enjoy this game, especially if you were never able to try original Modern Warfare 2 maps. Just keep in mind the price tag that will be coming along with this. However, despite all of this, what's also meant to be kept in mind is that skill-based matchmaking is still a thing, and that if you're playing the game legitimately, you're going to have to deal with its awful algorithm for playing public lobbies. Yes, a ranked game mode will be coming, but that isn't going to change how public lobbies go in the current meta of Call of Duty. It's a real shame because even with the enjoyability factor of this game, it does get in the way of times. But honestly, this doesn't even apply to just its multiplayer. but just everything in general of how far this series has fallen at times. So, those were my thoughts on how Modern Warfare 3 is launched and whether or not you should buy it in its current state, depending on what you're looking for. If you're someone who's already played Modern Warfare 3, let me know if you agree or disagree with my takes in the comments below. I always love to hear a different perspective about things I'm interested in. Before we wrap up the vid, I wanted to share a bunch of different perspectives about Modern Warfare 3 from people on Twitter and how they feel about the game. You should really follow me on Twitter as well, by the way, @ChaiGrimer. What the fuck is this? Solid multiplayer with a promising post-launch support, 8 out of 10. Hopefully that continues throughout MW3 Year 1. Campaign is 7 out of 10. What? I actually can't believe I'm reading a thought where someone enjoyed the open combat missions. Am I the only one that absolutely hated these? Let me know below. Feels weird playing on MW2 maps with the movement speed being so goddamn fast now. TTK also feels super quick on top of it. I really do agree. At first it feels weird, but after you played a bit, I actually love the feeling of current day COD movement speed on these maps. Also, I feel like the TTK is actually in a pretty good spot personally. Let me know how you feel about that. Feels clunky and forced, the sideways aiming while sighting is pointless, spawns are good, domination is back, the health should be 125, tac sprint after sighting should work again, needs quick fix, red dots on minimap is a W, every map except Karachi is good, 6 out of 10. There are some things I could agree with here and some things I could disagree with, but Karachi, like, being the only, like, bad map is definitely something I have to disagree with. Red dots being on the minimap finally is, God, I missed it so much, and quick fix I can absolutely agree with. Health being 125 though is something I definitely, like, disagree with. I think 150 is a pretty good spot. I can see this game being quite good, but it will take time and effort from the devs. Flinch is insane, spawns are weird, a lot of bugged things like challenges or it randomly makes me select the class midlife. Skill-based matchmaking feels more aggressive than MW22, 100% needs more content. Again, things I can agree and disagree with. I feel like skill-based matchmaking has just always been insane though, like ever since they've put this in. And the whole class thing and challenges stuff is also something I've noticed a bit. I hope they can fix that very soon. Okay, real opinion. Cool to have MW2 maps, but they don't play nearly the same because of how fast you can travel in new CODs while sprinting and climbing on literally everything. Should have scaled the maps up more. I really disagree. I think the size of the maps are totally fine, and I actually really like how they've implemented movement and climbing up on a bunch of stuff. The movement around some maps is stuff I dreamed of back in the day, and personally, I don't have a problem with it. How do you guys feel about that? Solid game, love that the default weapons aren't OP and new players need to grind attachments to have any chance of dominating. Also, we need classic 9v9 ground war, and I wish it didn't search for new players every game as that ruins the overall competitiveness. Yeah, I agree. Look, a 9v9 ground war, well, 10v10 is either going to be out, or is about to come out, depends on, when this video goes up, but it's good that they're making progress with that. I personally think they need to scrap the whole ground war and invasion game modes and just do 10v10, 12v12, and leave it at that. Also, lobby disbanding is pretty arse, I'm not gonna lie. Sniping is fun, game modes play kinda weird, hardpoint spawns are across the map for example, dumb spawns flip instantly. Footsteps might be a little too loud, it's a shame there's only one war map right now. I think, honestly, yeah, one war map not being involved in the game, only having one war map, despite it playing really, really well, is just something that isn't acceptable in my opinion. I really, really hope we do end the year off with 5 or 6 war maps. I know I'm asking for a lot, but it's the honest truth. They really need to do something with war. I couldn't have timed, what I just talked about even better. Yeah, war. I don't know if this makes it the best COD in a long time, but war has made this game really, really fun. Game is near greatness, and a top 5 for the franchise if they can make a few tweaks. If they buffed Sniper ADS, made them one-shot from upper shit. Okay, don't get me wrong, this opinion, I can agree with some things, but I really disagree. I would love it as Sniper ADS buff. Don't get me wrong, I would love for sniping to be even more OP. But I feel like the only time I really hit marker stuff is not with every gun, to be honest. I think sniping is actually in a pretty good spot. And yeah, skill-based matchmaking is totally lame. I honestly don't talk about it as much as I probably should complain about. It's just because, we know it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I reckon zombies is actually pretty cool, and I think most people are calling it trash because it's not what they expected. But given a chance and an open mind, it's been fun for me. This I can agree with, don't get me wrong, I love shitting on Call of Duty for making bad decisions. But I actually think the open world zombies experience is something that they should be commended on. This is everything that Vanguard should have been in my opinion. But round-based does need to come into the game. I really do believe that. Feels like they're finally capitalizing on the potential that Modern Warfare 2019 had. Love how it feels like a mix of IW and Treyarch. Skill-based matchmaking and the kill feed are my biggest complaints. Personally, I don't really care about kill feed stuff. I get it as like people in the sniping community as to why they don't like it. I fully understand it. But my enjoyability factor of the game isn't from a kill feed on a screen. It's how the game plays. And personally, I feel like it plays pretty great right now. Again, skill-based matchmaking is just something that needs to go. Domination spawns are extremely weak. Hardpoint spawns are too far away and random. Sniper flinch is too much. Pretty much everything we've gone through, like, prior. And again, kill feed is something I like. Doesn't bother me, but I understand why other people want it. Great maps, but spawns are horrible to mediocre at best on all maps, which it takes most of the enjoyment away. Great changes coming over from Modern Warfare 2, but MWIII still awards the campy playstyle too much. Worst thing about MWIII is skill-based matchmaking for sure. Should have been 30 instead of $70 too. Obviously, I know that's like in USD, but yeah, no, I agree. A reduced price for a game, even as much as I am enjoying it for no original content, should have been the play here. The spawns, I'm very hit or miss about. Like, I feel like some modes it's good, some maps it's good, others, they definitely need some tweaking. How do you guys feel about those takes there? Leave your thoughts or your own takes in the comments below. Anyway, I hope this video has helped you on whether or not you should make the decision to purchase Modern Warfare 3, or maybe this might be a year you missed Call of Duty. Let me know if I've done either below, and don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, along with subscribing if you want to see more content from me. It really does help me out a ton when you do. In case you didn't know, I also stream pretty much every day on Twitch, over at twitch.tv/chai, so you should definitely go follow me there so we could talk more COD or other stuff there. I really do appreciate anyone who helped me get this video together. I'll be sure to put every single one of them in the description, and you should definitely go and check them out. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in a stream or in the next upload. Take care.